Hi everyone, welcome back to Round World. Today, we're starting week 4 of our 8-week development plan, focusing on defending long balls. The goal of this session is to help players intercept long balls, win aerial duels, and build pressure on the ball. We'll focus on proper positioning, anticipation, and quickly regaining shape to prevent the opponent's attack. Let's dive into the main principles, sub-principles, and the 5 W's for today's session. To improve defending long balls, we're focusing on the following principles. Defend the long balls. Build pressure on the ball. To achieve these principles, players will focus on the following sub-principles. Look to win the first or second ball or intercept the pass. Immediately reapply pressure on the ball. To achieve these sub-principles, players will focus on the following actions: intercepting, pressing, challenging, delaying, covering. Here's a breakdown of what we're working on today. What? We need to improve defending long balls. Where? Middle to defending third. Who? Primary players 2, 3, 4, and 5. Secondary players 6 and 8. When? When the ball is in the air, players 2, 3, 4, and 5 look to defend the long ball, while players 6 and 8 focus on winning the second ball. Why? To improve team behavior and the main principles of defending. The warm-up is designed to improve the team's ability to intercept long balls effectively and prepare for defending under pressure. Here's the setup. Objective: improve intercepting skills. Number of players: 1v1 with intercepting. Activation: space and dimensions, 15 yards by 15 yards. Duration and sets: 15 to 20 minutes split into 3 sets. Work and recovery: 5 minutes of work followed by 1 minute recovery. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: phase 1, none. Phase 2, end zone. Now that the setup is clear, let's move into phase 1. The coach or goalkeeper throws the ball into the air to simulate a long pass. Both red player 9 and blue player 4 challenge for the ball in the air with the goal of gaining control. Once either player wins possession, they pass the ball back to the coach or goalkeeper to reset the play for another repetition. To make it competitive, players can count their successful interceptions or possessions as scores. For both players, emphasize timing, positioning, and composure when challenging for the ball. This phase serves as an activation exercise to help players get comfortable with intercepting long balls, understanding of importance of winning the ball, and adding a competitive element to improve focus and intensity. Let's break down phase 2, 1v1 with end zones. The coach or goalkeeper throws the ball in the air to simulate a long pass. Both players challenge for the ball, aiming to gain control. Once a player wins possession, the game becomes a 1v1, where the objective is to drive the ball into opposing end zone to score. The opponent works to win back possession and counter by attacking the other end zone. This phase adds a dynamic 1v1 component, encouraging the players to improve their ability to intercept, defend, and transition effectively in a competitive game environment. Let's move into Activity 1, a modified game form designed to improve defending long balls and covering. Here's the setup. Objective: to improve defending long balls and covering. Number of players: 2v2. Space and dimensions: 25 yards by 45 yards. Duration and sets: 15 to 20 minutes split into 2 sets. Work and recovery: 7 minutes of work followed by a 1 minute recovery. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: mini goals. Now that the setup is clear, let's break down the activity step by step. The coach or goalkeeper delivers a long ball into the grid to simulate a realistic game scenario. The blue team, 4 and 5, works together to win the ball by challenging for the first or second ball. Once possession is regained, they look to progress the ball and score in the opposing mini goal. If the red team, 9 and 10, wins the ball, the blue team must press to delay their attack or recover by covering each other effectively. Play resets with the coach or goalkeeper delivering a new long ball after each attempt or when the ball goes out of bounds. When to coach: provide feedback in the flow to ensure the activity continues while addressing key moments. How to coach: encourage and support players by focusing on cues and desired behaviors during play. Use actionable and positive reinforcement to guide their behaviors. What to coach: use specific keywords to direct focus and improve execution. Intercepting. Focus on cutting off passes or winning the ball in the air. Pressing. Close down the red players quickly to prevent forward play. Challenging. Compete for the ball physically in duels for the first or second ball. Delaying. Slow the opponent's progress to allow teammates to reposition and cover. Covering. Maintain defensive support by ensuring one player is always in position to cover the other. This activity challenges players to develop their ability to defend against long balls, apply pressure, and regain possession as a unit while working on key defensive actions. Let's move into Activity 2, which focuses on improving defending long balls and winning second balls in a more dynamic and competitive environment. Objective: to improve defending long balls and winning second balls. Number of players: 4v4. Space and dimensions: 40 yards by 45 yards. Duration and sets: 15 to 20 minutes, split into 2 sets. Work and recovery: 7 minutes of work, followed by 1 minute recovery. Constraints: none. Method of scoring: mini goals. Now that the setup is clear, let's move into Activity 2. The goalkeeper starts the play by kicking a long ball into the field, just like in a real game. The blue team, players 4 and 5, challenge in the air to win the first ball, while players 6 and 8 react quickly to win the second ball. Once they gain possession, the blue team moves the ball forward with quick passes and attacks the mini goal to simulate game progression. The red team, players 9, 10, 6 and 8 competes to win possession. Players 9 and 10 try to win the ball in the air, and players 6 and 8 position themselves to win the second ball. Once in possession, the red team works together to maintain control and attack. Focus on these key points during the activity. Body positioning: stay goal side of opponent and be ready to challenge for aerial or second balls. Proper positioning ensures better control of play and limits threats. Winning the first ball: time your jump effectively and challenge to secure possession or direct the ball to your team. Winning the second ball: anticipate the ball's landing spot and react quickly to gain control and maintain possession. Communication and covering: coordinate with teammates by staying local and organized to provide support and cover for those challenging the ball. Progression after winning possession: focus on quick and precise passes to move the ball forward, creating attacking opportunities toward the mini goals. This activity helps both teams practice competing for long balls, winning second balls, and transitioning effectively, creating a realistic and competitive setting. Now, let's move into Activity 3, which ties together everything we have practiced so far in a realistic game-like scenario. This activity focuses on defending long balls, winning second balls, and transitioning effectively. Players will need to stay organized, communicate, and adapt to the game's flow. Objective: to improve long balls under realistic game conditions. Number of players: 6 plus goalkeeper versus 6. Space and dimensions: half field. Duration and sets: 20 minutes, split into 2 sets. Work and recovery: 8 minutes of work, followed by 2 minutes recovery. Constraints: blue team always builds up from the goalkeeper after a goal kick or when the red team scores. Red team: the game restarts with the coach kicking a long ball if the ball goes out of bounds from the halfway line or after the blue team scores in the mini goals. Method of scoring: blue team mini goals, red team big goal. Now that the setup is clear, let's move into Activity 3. The play begins with the coach kicking a long ball toward the defensive line, replicating a realistic game scenario. Both the blue and the red teams compete to win the ball in the air or the second ball. Once possession is gained, the team focuses on maintaining possession and transitioning into attack. The blue team looks to move the ball forward and score in the mini goals, while the red team works to break through and score in the big goal. If the red team scores, the blue team restarts play by building out from the back with goalkeeper, applying the concepts we worked on in week 1. Meanwhile, the red team uses a high pressure tactics to win the ball back, reinforcing the principles from week 2. If the blue team scores, the coach restarts the play with another long ball to the defensive line. This activity ties together key lessons from previous weeks, focusing on aerial duels, second balls, and transitioning between defending and attacking phases in a realistic game-like setting. Today's session focused on defending long balls and winning possession both in the air and on the ground. Players worked on pressing, intercepting, and covering to regain control and attack effectively. We also built on concepts from week 1, building out from the back, and week 2, high pressure. The blue team practiced building up play when in possession, while the red team focused on winning the ball back through pressure. These activities connected everything we worked on so far, helping players apply their skills in a realistic game scenarios. If you missed week 1 or 2, you can find those videos on my channel. Make sure to check them out. If you enjoyed this session, check out our 8-week development plan for more in-depth training ideas. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Round World for weekly training sessions to elevate your game. See you next time.